Well, for many people, gambling can be a fun way to win some fast cash. But for others, occasional gambling leads to a habit and addiction, which can turn into pathological gambling. Here with the consequences and how it can be treated is Dr. Bradley Wajda with Esano Incorporated. Happy Friday to you and good morning. How are you, Dr. Wajda? Good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about this because pathological gambling, obviously a problem, but what can it lead to?
Well, it destroys relationships and careers. I mean, people wind up gambling away the money that they would use for their mortgage, for, essential bills. They will lie to spouses about how much time or money they're spending on gambling. They'll use it as an outlet for frustration or basically stress management. And of course, there's even a mindset once you start gambling that it's not real money. I mean, there's a psychology behind gambling when you're using electronic cash or you're using these cards.
Does this become a problem once people start to win a couple of times? Is that where the problem begins? Once you start to win and you start to see how easy it is, but not really realizing you've probably lost a lot of money to get to where you are as a winner?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Well, see, it's that intermittent reward that makes this such a difficult addiction to treat because, if it were something where, for example, every time you drank alcohol, there were consequences. You drink until you were intoxicated, there'd be a hangover or something every time. Not true with gambling. There are going to be times when you push the button or you play the cards and you're going to get a reward. And that just reinforces your drive to get that reward again.
Let's talk about some of the common symptoms of problem gambling. The first one is you feel restless or irritable when trying to quit.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And the second one, talk about this one a little bit. People use it as an escape for emotional stress.
Well, you may not feel like you're winning anywhere in life. I mean, on the job, in your relationships. So you can go sit in front of a machine and push buttons, and pretty soon, even though you may have spent more than you're winning, and that's often the case, the lights are going to light up, they're going to say you're a winner. And there's a real psychological message there.
You're gambling larger amounts of money to try to make back previous losses, and you're lying about the amount of time or money spent on gambling. So that's when when you're lying about it is when you need to step back and think this could be a problem?
Well, absolutely. You need to even be thinking about a problem if any of these things are present, because even people who will lose track of time when they're gambling. I've talked to people who would go in during the day, say 6 o'clock in the evening, and when they come back out from gambling, the sun's still up, but it's not the same day. I actually had one patient who came to me and asked me to sign a paper requesting that Social Security assign a payee for his Social Security disability check because he went to the casino and he got a printout of his activity. And it was a huge amount of money for somebody that was only making $1,000 a month from Social Security.
And is there treatment available then? Because if you are watching a loved one go through this, how do you approach them and how do you tell them you need help, you need to go seek treatment?
Well, there's no easy way to do that, and you have to do it, but you have to do it in a loving way. Being accusatory, and oftentimes it's at that point because they discover you've been lying or you've been taking money out of the family. But, it's something you can't put off. Gamblers Anonymous is a support group. They have an online 20-question test that you can get graded. It says, it'll actually score on there whether or not you should be concerned. Psychotherapy will help. As a matter of fact, again, if I remember correctly, it's the lottery website actually has links to where people can get some free counseling sessions, at least initially.
Do you offer behavioral therapy?
We offer behavioral therapy, and we also offer medication management. because this is an addiction process. There are neural pathways involved in that. We can lessen the pain of getting over that addiction with medication.
Well, any questions or concerns about this topic, or if you know of anybody that might need Dr. Wajda's help or treatment, please call him at 999-9514. He has an office here in Fresno off of Herndon Avenue. Is that it's northwest Fresno, right? Is that right?
Herndon and Fruit. Herndon
and Fruit. And then you have an office in Merced on Olive Avenue, and that number is 209-384-0800. Thanks again, Dr. Wajda. Interesting topic. This is certainly a big problem for a lot of people. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.
All righty.
All right. Central Valley Today. We'll be right back, everybody. Stick around.